Well, the Conservatives are pressing the Ethics Committee to further probe the SNC-Lavalin scandal. Ontario Premier Doug Ford is releasing his first budget this week. So joining me now to break down this week's political news is the Globe and Mail's Laura Stone. Great to see you, Laura.
Great to be here, Priya.
Okay, let's start with this new push for an Ethics Committee probe. The Conservatives are asking for a wide range of things, including for the Prime Minister to appear before the committee. So where do you think this is going to go next?
Well, this is about Chapter 100 in this SNC-Lavalin affair. Mm-hmm.
Basically, you know, the Ethics Committee voted down a measure saying that it was premature to study this issue before Jody Wilson-Raybould released her set of documents a couple weeks ago. If you'll recall, it was that recording that she made with the clerk of the Privy Council, which turned out to be quite controversial. She and Jane Philpott have now been removed from caucus, so it's back at the Ethics Committee. I personally do not see this going anywhere. I don't see the committee agreeing to do this. And that's because Jody Wilson-Raybould and Jane Philpott themselves have said that they think that there's enough information out there for Canadians to judge and to make up their minds. So this is kind of the last hurrah at a parliamentary committee to study this issue. We do, of course, have the ongoing fight between Prime Minister Justin Trudeau and Conservative leader Andrew Scheer over threats of a libel notice from the Prime Minister. So I see the story more heading in that direction as opposed to a committee study.
Well, certainly the Conservatives will do anything at this point to keep it alive, so
Absolutely.
We'll definitely keep following that. Okay, let's talk about what's going on in Ontario this week. It is a big week, of course. Doug Ford's government tabling their first budget on Thursday. So what are we expecting there?
Well, right now we know that the Ontario government is going to try to tackle the deficit. That is number one. It's how Ford came into office. The government said they're going to find a path to balance, and it seems that they're taking more of a slow and steady approach. I don't know that we will see the Ontario government, the Ford government, balance Ontario's books in this current mandate. But that's going to be the thing that everyone is looking for. We also know that there's going to be a daycare tax rebate. We have this confirmed from a source in the government that there's going to be a subsidy for daycare for residents, including up to 75% for lower income residents. There's also more of the fun stuff. We have tailgating that's going to be legalized, or they're going to change the regulations to allow people to enjoy a drink before a sports game. We're going to see the new license plates in Ontario. And of course, we're going to see those carbon tax stickers that are going to be put up at gas stations across the province.
So since Ford was elected premier, he and the Prime Minister have clashed over a lot of different issues, carbon tax, as you just mentioned, also how to handle irregular border crossers. So anything in this budget that might ramp up the friction in that relationship?
I think we will see a lot of references to the federal government, and we will see the Ford government continue to go after the feds, and vice versa. They love to take each other on. And I think that Trudeau sees Ford as his major foe here now, more so than Andrew Scheer. You see the federal government continually linking the two. I think certainly there'll be references to the carbon tax and those stickers that I mentioned. So I think at every opportunity, the Ford government is going to try to take a dig at the feds here.
Let's talk about the federal election now, because it's not that far away. A new report saying that Canadian voters will likely experience foreign interference related to that election. So what should people be watching out for?
Well, the report that came out yesterday on this issue did say that foreign interference is on the rise. It's a trend worldwide, and they say that voters are actually the targets with misinformation, malware, phishing. The onus is, however, on social media companies, and the minister yesterday said that the government is open to looking at regulating social media to kind of clamp down on this misinformation. We've seen this happening in the UK and Australia, pointing to potentially hiring watchdogs or fining these companies for refusing to clamp down on hate. But certainly the onus is on the voters to try to clamp down this misinformation.
Well, something else we'll continue to follow. Thanks for everything today, Laura.
Thank you so much.
All right.